Fun fact, did you know that 11.7k games were released on Steam in 2021 alone? The video game industry has grown rapidly over the course of just a few decades. We have the giants, the AAA games that everyone either loves or hates, and then we have the indie devs trying to take their shot at an industry full of competition. Today we're going to look into one of these indie devs' passion projects, and specifically about their localization work. Hello everyone and welcome! This is Localization Addict, I'm Hagane, and today we're taking a look at Light Fairytale and its localization into Japanese. As with my Genshin video, I don't speak the original language of the game, which is French. So I'm not too sure of exactly what was originally said in this language. Because of this, I will be making a comparison between the English and the Japanese localization of this hidden gem of a game. Hopefully you guys will find it interesting as well. So without further ado, let's get started. We start the game in the same fashion as many other RPGs. We are awakened by someone, usually a girl, and then we begin our adventure. A girl named Kuroko is introduced, as well as our protagonist Haru. Kuroko says she came looking for us because she wanted to check out a strange shop on the second floor. Here we can already see an interesting difference. In Japanese, she calls this shop Fushigi na Mise, which means a strange shop, but in a good way, whereas the English version just calls it a strange shop. I would love to know what's in the original French game to compare it to these two and see if this strange shop was supposed to be highlighted in a good way or a bad one. If any of you guys know French and like the game, please tell me what you think in the comments below. Back to the game's story, we have to explore the first floor before being able to move forward. Here we find a guy who speaks in a peculiar way. In Japanese, he says, 今全部確認しとるとこだ. Just by this sentence alone, we can infer that this speaker is talking in some kind of non-standard dialect, just from the しとる conjugation of the present continuous form, as opposed to the standard してる. In English, the same is shown by means of using apostrophes to create the illusion of a glottal stop, typical of non-American speakers. As we approach the elevator, Kuroko makes fun of a guard who asks where they're going. She says, going to level 2, doi. In Japanese, this was translated to the more literal, 見ればわかるでしょ, which means it's obvious just by looking. I think it is interesting to see this very English, dare I say Western, way of talking to someone, translated into very natural sounding Japanese, that is equally as condescending without being nonsensical or going overboard. After a few scenes, we encounter a beautiful general with a pretty foul mouth. This is evident in the way she looks down on others in English, but in Japanese, we have a few more indicators that tell us exactly how much she dislikes this place and how highly she thinks of herself. The first indicator is her use of what I like to call the rude imperative. Basically, Japanese has a few ways to convey the imperative mood, each with a different level of formality. In this case, she's using the rudest form of the imperative, which can often sound very insulting. She also uses the phrasing kono watashi when talking about herself, which is very telling. Kono means this, and using kono plus a first-person pronoun is a way to elevate yourself from everyone else around you. It's kinda like saying, this me who is better than you all. She also uses the word waza-waza to refer to herself going down to this place, aka the first floor. Waza-waza is used to talk about other people, the way you would thank someone for coming all the way down here, emphasizing that someone else, usually someone important, took precious time out of their day to come. By using this on herself, she is being self-important. She's saying, I'm wasting my time to come see you lowlifes. As I dive into this video, I find myself wanting to know more and more what the original French is saying, as the dialogue feels incredibly natural in both English and Japanese. I love to talk about this with the people who made these localizations. We finally arrive at the strange shop on the first floor, and then we find a fortune teller, to whom Haru asks for her age. In response to this, Kuroko gets mad and tells him, "Ugh, you really don't understand a thing about women, don't you?" In Japanese, this was translated as, "Ha, あんたさ、どんだけ女心を理解できないわけ?" which means something like, how little can you possibly understand a woman's heart? It's a very Japanese way of speaking and it flows incredibly naturally. I am genuinely impressed with the work done on this localization, so kudos to the team! For now, this is all I have to say about part 1 of this incredibly charming game. This has been all for today. Stay tuned for part 2. If you like this video and would like me to make more videos like this, hit that like button and subscribe. See you next time!